Hello, welcome. It's Elaine here from Heads Up.
Hi, Deirdre here from Heads Up.
Hi, Kira from Heads Up.
Hi, Lorna from Heads Up.
Neve, Heads Up. Hi there.
Good to see you all. Today we're going to chat and have a conversation about something called triggers. And triggers is a really important part of the WRAP program. So what's a trigger? A trigger is an external event or circumstance that if it happens, it can make us feel very upset or uncomfortable. And it's a normal reaction, but if we don't do something to deal with it, then it can cause us to feel worse. So during the week, I was thinking my idea of a trigger at the moment is like a life hitting a curveball at you. And that's why I made a little ball to remind myself of a trigger that's out of your control. And my trigger at the moment is social media, like an iPhone there. So social media for me, if I spend too much time on it and come across something that, like a person someone's account that I look at and maybe I compare myself to them and it makes me feel a little bit upset because I just constantly comparing myself to other people, and it can be a negative impact on how I feel. So the more I become aware of that, the more I can respond with an action plan, is what we call it. So what do I do to try and deal with the negative impact of social media? Number one, at the moment in the morning, I'm trying to not reach for my phone first thing. I'm trying to do something else in the morning, like something as simple as getting up and having my breakfast first before I reach for the phone, because it sets me up for the day much better than going down the rabbit hole of Twitter or looking at WhatsApp groups or whatever. So that's one way that helps me cope. And another way is if I do need to go onto WhatsApp or Twitter or Instagram, I try to set a timer for myself so that this is not taking over, that I can pull it out here, alarm bell, and you're spending too much time on social media. So that way it kind of helps me cope with my trigger. What about the rest of you ladies? What are your triggers at the moment and how have you been coping with them?
My triggers at the moment is all the news. The news is on. I've been watching the news all the time, all day, hearing all these bad stories and what's happening in other countries, and it was too much. I was finding it very hard. So I kind of had to take a step back, and I had to kind of plan then to only watch, say, 15 minutes once a day. And the other times during the day then just to get out and listen to music, no radio, just music. So I'm not listening to people talking all the time. So I'm finding that very useful, for me.
All right. Good one, Lorna. For me, I suppose what's really triggering me at the moment is that, when I'm talking to people and they keep saying, and when is it going to be over? And, when are we going to be allowed to go out and about next? Or when is this, isolation going to end? And that triggers me because we don't have answers to those questions. Nobody has answers to those questions. And occasionally I'll engage in the conversation and I start talking about, well, we've got to look at what other countries are doing. And that then builds up in me an anxiety because it's the unknown. And so what I try and do is to bring myself back into the moment and think, okay, how can I, what can I control? What can I manage right now? How can I deal with things in just the moment? Not to be thinking too much into the future when the answers aren't there. Nobody can provide those answers. So it is about, maybe having a little bit of a mindful moment, whether that's through a little bit of breathing or even just, Lorna, taking your advice and listen to a short piece of music or something that helps to ease my mind when it goes into that overdrive as to when all this is going to end. So I find that works quite well for me.
Thanks, Deirdre.
Thanks, Deirdre. For me, the going to the supermarket is a whole new process, I for all of us. I go once a week, and I, at the start, was very, very, very nervous. It was my trigger. I was very conscious of germs and making sure that I was protecting myself so that I wasn't bringing anything home back into the family. And I was very conscious of social distancing, and being very careful when I went out, that I made sure that I was 2 meters apart from people. But I found that a trigger for me was going to the supermarket, because how was I going to control social distancing? And I had to remind myself that I can't control anybody else. When I go somewhere into the shop, if I go down the street or I go for a walk, I can't control other people, but I can control myself. So what I have decided, that it's my job to keep me safe and keep my family safe. So by me being very, very conscious of the 2 meter social distancing has really, it was like a light bulb moment for me, that I don't have to stress over other people. I just have to make sure that I am conscious, and when I leave the house, that I make myself safe. So yeah, that's it for me, Elaine.
Great. Thanks, Kira.
Um,
And what about you, Niamh?
Yeah, for me, it's just actually, which kind of surprises me, is having the family here all the time. 7 people in this house. It's a very different way of living to what I was used to. You know, I was used to being up early in the morning, having a bit of space, and then heading off in the car to Kildare for an hour, driving for an hour, then working, and then coming back later in the evening. Now we're here all of the time, and nobody has the luxury of having their own space. So I suppose what I found I need to do, so that I don't start getting stressed about that, or getting, you know, I am a bit more organized in terms of I look at, you know, boxes for stuff for work that come out first thing in the morning. I'm now getting up earlier again, so that I have my coffee, my 5 minutes coffee on my own in the morning, which has always been part of my daily maintenance, but it kind of shifted because I wasn't commuting. But now I do that, and I get out at least for 3 walks a day, just to give myself on my own. Most, you know, 2 of those at least are on my own, and the other one is out with the kids, because I just find I still need my bit of me time, my own space in this chaos, and I need to acknowledge that, you know, we're going to get through this, and it's not going to be like this forever. So yeah, and just accept the way this is how we're living for now, but it's not forever.
Temporary, yeah. Great. Well, thanks everyone. It seems that it's obvious everyone's triggers are very unique and personal to each individual. So it's about trying to find out what they are, naming them, and then trying to find out different ways that we can cope with them. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thanks for that.
Thanks, Elaine.
Bye.
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 Bye.